Hey, what's up everybody? This is Justin with Sillage Scents. Today I've got 10 fragrances for you that you're going to smell all day long. It's not that necessarily every one of these is a 12-hour performer, although many of them definitely are. What I mean is these are fragrances where throughout the life of the scent, you're going to be in that beautiful scent bubble. They've got an awesome sillage, a scent cloud around you. So these are ones, at least for me, that I don't go nose blind to, that don't fade. They just continue to perform for the entire life of a workday. So we're about to dive in, but please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And I could have put 20 fragrances in this video or 30, but I would love to hear down in the comments what would be your picks for fragrances that you just enjoy the scent cloud all day long. You don't stop smelling them, and I look forward to reading those in the comments. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So first off, I'm going to mention one that was a real surprise to me because it's an ARMAF, and it's one that I hadn't really heard hardly anybody talk about, but I went ahead and picked it up because of one review that I saw. I'm talking about ARMAF ODYSSEY HOMME, and this is obviously the black version in this sort of thermos looking bottle. This one has been called everything from a clone of Tom Ford Noir Extreme, which it absolutely is not. To my nose, it doesn't smell hardly anything like it, maybe just a touch. But it's also been called a blend of sort of the high-end iris fragrances, DIOR Homme Intense and Givenchy Gentleman EDP and Valentino Uomo Intense. I would definitely lean more towards that, although the iris in this one is not quite as creamy or lipsticky as those, but it's definitely still a pronounced iris with some chocolatey and leathery vibes. This is a killer fragrance, and it's one that I will smell for hours and hours and hours. It's just, I'm living in the cloud of this fragrance throughout the day. It's a great pickup and one that you can get, I think, for just a little over $30, which is amazing. All right, next up, this is one by PACO RABANNE that's been discontinued, but you can still find it everywhere at the same price that it was, a year or two ago before it was announced as discontinued. I'm talking about PACO RABANNE 1 Million Lucky. And this is a very interesting fragrance. The 1 Million line is mostly known for super sweet, heavy fragrances. But this one's not like that. It's definitely got some sweetness. There's a sweet, beautiful grapefruit in the opening and some bergamot. But it's also got a very interesting ozonic quality. In the fragrance notes, they just call it ozonic notes. It's something like a violet leaf, but it's this sort of very pronounced, airy lift to the fragrance. And there's also a hazelnut note that is not overly sweet. So you've got this ozonic hazelnut vibe, as well as some citrus in the opening and a little sweetness that'll remind you of the original 1 Million. All that to say, this is one of the freshest 1 Million fragrances. It totally works in the spring and even in the summer if you dial your sprays back. And this is one, again, that I will smell for hours after I spray it on. Wonderful sillage and scent cloud. This one, you're not going to forget what you're wearing for sure. All right, next up, we're going to go with one that's kind of love it or hate it. This one gets hated on a lot, but it's also the best-selling men's fragrance around right now, I believe. I'm talking about just the original DIOR Sauvage EDT. I don't talk about the Sauvage fragrances too much because I know a lot of people kind of roll their eyes, but listen, this is a banger. I mean, I love that peppery, metallic, ambroxan power that you get from that one. You do have some citrus in the opening. It is a blue fragrance to the core, but that powerful, peppery, metallic vibe, as well as just a very powerful ambroxan, is sort of what makes this fragrance and what sets it apart. It doesn't smell like all the other blue fragrances, although plenty of fragrances are kind of adding a Sauvage kind of vibe now. But this one, on my skin, does last forever, probably 10 hours, but I smell it all throughout the day. This wonderful scent cloud that stays with you. And I don't care what anybody says, I love the way Sauvage smells. And the EDT is absolutely killer in my opinion. All right, next up, we'll go with one very different from Sauvage, because whereas Sauvage is all year round and it really shines in the heat, I would say that this one is more of a cold weather fragrance for sure. And man, this one is so beautiful and it performs so incredibly well. I'm talking about ALHAMBRA DETOUR NOIR. You can see the paint chipping off the bottle here, you know, not great production quality. But this one is a clone of Parfums de Marly Layton, and it is an epic clone. Until the Amber Oud Exclusive Blue came out a few months ago, everyone pointed to this one as the clone of Layton to get, and I still say it's the clone of Layton to get. It's super accurate, it's super powerful, it performs great, and you can get this on fragrancebuy.ca usually for around $36, below $40, and this thing is amazing. The beautiful, sweet, gourmand, sort of spicy vanilla scent cloud that you have around you all day long while wearing this fragrance makes it, in my opinion, one of the best value fragrances you can buy. If you can find it in stock, this is Layton for $36 pretty much. All right, next up, we'll go with another one that definitely leans more towards cold weather, but you can wear what you want when you want. This one also is a great evening scent. You're going out on a date night or something like that. This is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This is a beautiful vanilla bomb. If you like vanilla, this fragrance is probably 80% vanilla, and then it's like 10% ambroxan and 10% or maybe 5% a little bit of an incensey vibe, like a slightly smoky, slightly woodsy vibe. But it's 80+% vanilla, and this thing will surround you in a beautiful cloud of vanilla all day long. I absolutely love it. Several of my family members love it. I actually had to tell them to quit coming in here and sneaking sprays without me knowing about it, because man, this thing is absolutely a crowd pleaser. It's an attention getter. It's, as far as I know, the best pure vanilla designer fragrance you can buy. And you can usually get this one for, you know, mid 40s to $50. And that is absolutely a steal. You talk about smelling one all day, you will be walking around in a cloud of vanilla all day. All right, next up, we're going to go with another clone, and this one is a clone of Ombre Leather by Tom Ford, and when you can find this one in stock, it's a $15 clone. Fragrancebuy.ca often has it for that. I got it for $12 back, I think, whenever it came out, 9 months or so ago. But this is Amber and Leather by MAISON ALHAMBRA, which is a subsidiary of LATTAFFA, and it's a really good clone of Ombre Leather. Whenever I first got it, I really didn't think it was blended that well, but I think it's because it was a brand new batch. Whenever I wear it now, you know, 9 months later, or however long it's been, it has macerated or something, because to me, this is twice as smooth as it used to be. The sweetness has come out a little bit. The spiciness has come out a little bit. I would have rated this as like a C+ Ombre Leather clone. I would probably put it at like an A- Ombre Leather clone now. It's MAISON ALHAMBRA Amber and Leather. Super cheap, excellent clone of Ombre Leather. And this is one that I will smell for hours and hours. I mean, it's just, you're in this cloud of leather all day long. It doesn't fade. I mean, after maybe 6-7 hours, it more fades into a skin scent. But for those first 6 or 7 hours, you're going to smell this fragrance. At least I do. And I know fragrance is very subjective, but to me, this is one that you are going to enjoy all day. All right, another one that is a clone. This is a clone by AFNAN, a powerful, very high quality, beautiful clone of Jean Paul Gaultier, not La Male, Ultra Male, and this is 9 p.m. by AFNAN. This one has gotten a lot of hype since it came out for very good reason. This is Ultra Male. I mean, the only difference is this one has an apple note instead of a pear note, but you've also got that sort of slight aromatic vibe. You've got that powerful vanilla. It smells, you know, 90+% like Ultra Male. And just like Ultra Male, you will smell this thing for hours. You know, great projection, great scent cloud that you're just going to be living in all day long. You'll leave a nice scent trail. It performs very good. And if you like sweet fragrances, and only if you like sweet fragrances, this one is highly recommended. All right, we're going to shift gears quite a bit. This one is not a clone, and it's not one that's overly sweet, although it does have some sweetness. This is one that is a blue fragrance that performs great, that you can get for a great price. I'm talking about Dylan Blue by Versace. And so this is just blue fragrance right down the line. You've got sort of a citrus opening with a little bit of spice, I believe a little bit of ginger. Then you have of course, ambroxan, a lot of ambroxan to give it that lift and that carry of a blue fragrance. You've also got an incense note in this one that's pretty interesting. Similar to how Bleu de Chanel has a little bit of smokiness, this one does as well. There are some similarities to Bleu de Chanel, although I absolutely like Dylan Blue better than all three of the main Bleu de Chanel fragrances. So that's just personal preference. But this is a blue fragrance that performs great, that I get whiffs of all day long, and one that I really like the smell of. So Dylan Blue, great price, great performer, a blue fragrance that will just hang with you all day. All right, we're going to switch it up again. Whereas a blue fragrance like Dylan Blue is all year round, every situation, it works great. This is one that is more situational because it is super strong and it is sweet. It's gourmand, it's powerful. This is like a cold weather fragrance or maybe evening, date night fragrance. This is a clone and one that's gotten a whole lot of hype. I'm talking about LATTAFFA's KHAMRA. And this, of course, is a clone of Kilian's Angel Share. Although I did wear Angel Share back several months ago, and I was surprised that this is not as close to Angel Share as I initially thought it was. To me, Angel Share has a much stronger cinnamon note, but this one smells a lot like sort of a boozy marshmallow vanilla. That's it, that vanilla marshmallow sweetness with a little bit of an oudi touch. I think definitely more so than Angel Share. It does have cinnamon. It's actually got a whole bunch of sweet spices in it, but it is a warm, sweet, powerful fragrance with a little bit of booziness, and it's got a marshmallow quality that reminds me of something like By the Fireplace, or even more so like Amir Al Oud Intense by Lattaffa. This fragrance has some similarities to that one, although it is quite different as well. Lattaffa KHAMRA, powerhouse. You will carry a cloud of KHAMRA with you for many hours, and this thing will last on my skin 12 plus hours. It is an absolute powerhouse, but one that the sillage, the scent cloud, just hangs all day. All right, last up, this one is a fairly recent pickup within the last 2 or 3 months, and I just wore it the other day, and I was amazed at how I was smelling it all day long, or at least whenever I say all day, I'm thinking a work day, for at least 6 or 7 hours. I'm not just saying it was there if I looked for it, I'm saying it was there sort of in my face, floating around me for pretty much a whole work day. I'm talking about Ted Lapidus Poker Face. And this is a clone of, pretty much a clone, heavily inspired by Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme. The difference being this one has a little more of an aromatic quality. La Nuit de l'Homme has lavender in it and then that beautiful cardamom. This one, I would say the lavender is probably 50% increased. And so it's got a little bit of an extra aromatic vibe, which I think makes it even more versatile. The sweetness may be tamped down just a hair, but it's still very similar to La Nuit de l'Homme, probably 85% plus similar. And it performs great. And man, the scent cloud on this one is awesome. You'll just enjoy it all day long. And so that's been 10, and all of these, again, are those that you spray them on, and you don't forget about them because they're not ones that, at least for me, that I go nose blind to. I'm aware of them throughout the day, and I really enjoy that sometimes, knowing what you're wearing because you're enjoying it all day. But again, as I asked at the beginning, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. I've got videos coming out every couple days. And let me know down in the comments, what would you add to this list in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Justin. This has been Sillage Scents.